What's going on, guys? We are here, and it didn't really work out for us personally. You guys don't have to go through that. Hopefully, you guys are watching all the other videos we uploaded. If you're watching this, chances are all the other fight picks are out. Go out and check out those ones because we have made it the main event of the evening, and I have no problem doing that. Hey, I'm gonna. If you want to know the fight picks, fast forward it a little bit into the video. I just want to talk about the build up for this fight, man. Usman Masvidal was supposed to be the fight to make after Kamaru Usman's win against Colby Covington, and it just never happened because Masvidal was saying that, hey, if you don't appreciate me, just release me. I don't want to be a part of the UFC. It was like, oh man, you have a title shot right there for you, and nothing. So, and then they get Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns was on a roll, man, still on a roll. And then out of nowhere, we got Gilbert Burns, COVID-19. Terrible, terrible news. Hope he heals up. But, man, it kind of gave us a little bit of a blessing because we get Jorge Masvidal, Kamaru Usman, which I expressed this to Zach multiple times, as he mentioned. That this is my second favorite fight that makes sense to make right now, which I think number one being Tony Ferguson, Khabib. Obviously, Khabib is Justin Gaethje. I am getting so off topic. I want to talk about this fight. To start it off, I am going to say that I got an end still victory for Kamaru Usman. I think Kamaru Usman wins the fight. I think it's the safer pick to make. If you're watching this, if you're a person who's looking to make a bet on Kamaru Usman, I love Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal is that. I think this is a win-win for me personally because Masvidal's talking about how he wants more money, and if he becomes champion, that's only going to get worse. Usman, I think he's corny. I want to see Masvidal beat him. Getting to the statistics part, I think, what I think is a factor for the fight, Usman's more in his prime. I think he has a huge advantage on the ground. I see, and man, this is the thing. I see a possibility of Masvidal doing something crazy and knocking him out cold. I just think the odds are in Usman's favor. 63.1% chance is what we got for the UFC calculator. But man, this is the thing. I had Usman beating Gilbert Burns too, and it's weird to say. I think Masvidal has a better chance to beat Usman than Gilbert Burns does. You look at the volume that Usman was able to take from Colby, and as much as it's a definitive answer with it being a knockout for Usman's side, that was a close fight. That was a close fight. If you look at the world rankings, I think people had Colby winning the fight if it went the distance. I think. I know from what I saw on a world's ranking, I can't remember what app it was, but it was like
2-2 going into the fifth.
Oh, I had a 2-2 going into the fifth as well, but on the app that I was looking at where it ranks fights before they're finished, they had it 3-1 Colby. So even if Usman gets that knockdown, but Colby survives, which he thought he did, people have Usman still being the champ. Man, I just look at the amount of volume that Usman was able to take from Colby, albeit Jorge's probably got a lot more KO power than Colby. But that volume, man, is in my opinion almost just as important as KO power. Because Masvidal's got volume, that's another thing. But I think Colby's volume is unmatched in the welterweight division. The point is Masvidal could pull off something. The safer pick is to pick Usman, just because Usman has that ground game. He has really good striking, I would say. And he's the guy who's going to, if he's not winning in the striking game, he's going to pick you up and he's going to slam you and he's going to look for a submission. He's going to look for a knockout or a TKO. He's just that guy. Masvidal says, I will not be ragdolled by this guy.
Yeah, I will.
It's tough to say, man. People can say it until you're actually in the cage. What is it? What is that famous Mike Tyson quote? Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Mm-hmm. We'll say that, but we'll say it on grappling terms. Everyone says plan until you get double legged. We'll say that. So I got Usman winning this one. I think it's a very, very close fight. I don't see Usman finishing Masvidal. I think this one goes the distance. So did I pick a fight to not go the distance in championship fights? But hey, I got all the championship fights going the distance. I think if any fight gets finished, I think the first one I would think gets finished out of the championship fights, it's Jan Aldo. Second, I think it would be Usman Masvidal, and then third, I think Holloway Volkanovski. I just think these are typically close fights. I think this fight is close as well. I do give Usman the advantage, as I mentioned before. 63.1% chance of Usman winning is what the UFC calculator has it at. I am. You would think I'd be burnt out talking about this, but I could go on for another 5 minutes. But for now, I'll pass it on to Zach. I'll let you know his thoughts.
So this fight is awesome.
Awesome.
Oh my God! But here's the thing: I'm not sure if Kamaru Usman's gonna make it awesome, because on the feet, Jorge has a technique advantage. And yes, he has power, but Usman has the power advantage. Even though he doesn't have a lot of knockouts, Usman has bricks in his hands. But it's not going to matter. I think the first round, Usman's going to feel out. It's not going to be many takedowns. He's going to want to feel out Jorge on the feet because he wants to know the level of takedowns that he should go for and to see if he can stay on the feet with this guy just like he did to Colby. But if it goes to the ground, it's not going to be pretty. I mean, he has just ragdolled pretty much everyone. I don't think he's going to finish Jorge on the ground. Demian Maia said that Jorge had the best BJJ he's ever faced in the UFC. Interesting quote. I'd like to.
Crazy.
That's an interesting quote I like to bring up almost every time. But I don't think he's going to get that submission. I think that Kamaru Usman's not going to finish him on the ground. It's just going to be a lot of ground and pound, but not getting a finish, He's just going to take him down, a couple shots, maybe get stood up a couple times. But if this fight goes past the second round, I think Jorge Masvidal is in trouble because Kamaru Usman has that cardio. He can go all day long. And so can Masvidal, but Usman has that advantage. The EPO rumors are there for a reason. So, I don't know. I'm going to pick Kamaru Usman as much as I would love to see Jorge Masvidal win the welterweight title. I would love to see that. I'm going to have to pick in my head here. My head says Kamaru Usman, and that's probably what's going to happen. So, yeah, I'm picking Usman.
Yeah, you mentioned how both of them can go all day fighting. I could go all day talking about this. So many factors leading into this, and I think one of the things that is important for me is man, I don't know if when the Jorge Nate Diaz fight got stopped. Correct me if I'm wrong. That fight, like that third round, was majority spent in Nate Diaz's guard, which could be one of the scariest places for a person to be. And Maya saying that he's got the most underrated BJJ. I've never seen that. I've never seen him say that. That's crazy that he said that. Because man, like people have even said this. Usman has said that people sleep on Masvidal. Usman said that before on the Joe Rogan podcast, and now it's coming. Man, I love that this is a rivalry matchup because it just makes so much more into this. And I kind of cringe at the idea of Usman knocking out Masvidal, and then he's like, yeah, like the post-fight interview. It's not going to be pretty, man. But man, if Masvidal pulls this off, imagine we had a repeat of Ben Askren, Jorge Masvidal, and Masvidal knocks him out with 10 seconds, 20 seconds, like something early.
The one time I'd wish for a crowd to be there.
Yeah, definitely, because Masvidal is going to freak out if he gets this win, and I'm excited, man. I'm really am excited. I was so excited when they announced that this fight was on, and I think I truly didn't believe it until it actually happened. I saw a video of Masvidal getting on a plane, weirdly enough, holding a proper 12 bottle. But
really,
in the first
Recuerdo.
Yeah, exactly. He's on the flight there as we speak. Crazy to think, man. This is such an amazing fight. I had no doubts this would be the longest of the fight picks videos. But we got the fight picks. We just finished all of them. You might just be starting them. Either way, check out all of them. This is our new way we're going to go about doing this. We got the Wednesday card coming up as well. We should have those coming out probably even before the fights happen. We'll see. We'll get the gang together. We'll talk about it. I guess this is an outro for the fight picks, but let us know what you guys think in the comments. Go to every video, man, and comment what you have for the fights. We both have Usman winning. I think we both want Masvidal winning. But we got Usman winning this one. If you're making the bets, bet on the favorite on this card. But as I said before, I could see it happening. So maybe if you're trying to be risky, bet on Masvidal. He's a 3-1 underdog. So let's see it, man. I'm really, really excited, and I thank Zach for doing this with me, and I thank you guys for watching. Let us know your comments. Let's get it. The main event.